What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me on the Moonlit Ghost live stream tonight. I'm hoping you guys can hear me. I think everything is set up good. It's looking good to me. So let me just go to my main section right here. So if you are here right now, thank you for being early to the Moonlit Goes Live. If you've been here in the past, you know that we're gonna get into some videos. We're gonna do some live reactions. We're gonna even tell some stories, maybe even some personal stories that you guys have felt comfortable enough with sharing with me. And so like that means so much to me. I love that is one of like my favorite things in the world is hearing people's like personal stories that have to deal with like these very strange things, and sometimes and oftentimes they are very personal and they're very touching, and more so than just actually scary all the time. So, and I've had several of you, many of you, email me, get on the Discord and share your stories over there, and just share your stories, even just in the comments. Which it's all good. It's all awesome. Thank you guys for doing that. Let's just take a look here. I hope you guys can hear me all right. It's looking like we've got a few people. I'm not seeing my chat. Participants. Looks like I'm having trouble seeing my my chat here. I don't know where it's at. If somebody could comment, I did see it just a second ago, but for some reason it's decided to disappear on me. I want to make sure that you guys are commenting and I can actually see that. For some reason, I'm having a hard time seeing it. Whoa, and we already have Robert Nance already hitting us up with a $5 super sticker or super chat. That's amazing, which gets me into my next thing. So I am going to this live stream guaranteed for 1 hour, and every single super chat, every single super chat, every single member that joins, and every single patron that joins or upgrades, every dollar I will go equals another minute. So if I get $30, we're already at 1 hour and 5 minutes because of Robert. At some point, I'm going to have to cut that off. So maybe say up to like 5 hours. I don't know if we'll get to like 5 hours, but I'm going to say that's the cutoff, because so 5 hours is the cutoff. So every dollar, every super chat, every Patreon. So if you join as a poltergeist on my Patreon, links in the description, that's $15 a month. That's 15 extra minutes. And we're just going to go. The cutoff is 5 hours. And so we're already at 1 hour and 5 minutes, thanks to Robert Nance hitting this up right here. For some reason, I can't see my chat. Are you guys? Hold on. I saw it before I was live, but now I hit the live button and it's gone. I don't know why. The Moonlit Ghost participants. If you guys are sorry, technical difficulties. Once we get this solved. Okay, for some reason, I just got my chat to work. I'm seeing that you guys are commenting. Sweet. I'm so happy about that. All right, guys. Yes. We got Triumvirate Media in. Kite, there's Discord. Yes, I saw that. Kite Supreme. Thank you for sharing your story. I am somebody, I believe it was Cece, dropped your story in the Discord, if I'm still saying that weird. Yeah, it was CC. And so I'm gonna share your story there. And let me just go over a few of the comments that we've got set up already. So Robert and Hans, already $5. I love it, man. Oh man, thank you so much. NOC, 3 a.m. is technically early. Alina Sanchez is on the stream. Sound and video is good. Thank you. That is always a huge concern to me. I'm still a novice at this whole live streaming thing. And so I'm always like really nervous that my audio is going to be weird. Business Goose, hello. Thank you for joining. Thanks for jumping in the chat. Pause. Your voice is a bit too low. Let's see if I can fix that. I can, hello. Is that better? I think that should be better. Okay. Volume up, please. Let me know. Yes, chat is. Voice kind of low. Yes, better. Thank you. All right, that's awesome. Cool, guys. I'm gonna jump in. We're gonna do Somebody dropped a couple videos in the Discord Ghost chat. We're gonna do some reactions first, and then I have a few people who shared stories that I would like to share. Nice. Okay, so let's get to the corner reaction here. So here's a Discord. Oh, and you'll notice up in the corner, right there, we got premium. I got comments every single time we had to watch ads. And you guys will be happy to know we don't have to suffer through ads anymore during my reactions. So let's do one of Nuke's earlier ones, and then I'll start taking some reaction suggestions and reading some stories here. And we're gonna just do one of his earlier ones, just to get it out of the way. And sorry, I don't have this already up. 5 unexplained mysteries in the sky caught on camera. I'm always about UFOs. This one's only 8 minutes long. Let's do this one. And the audio for Nukes, it's looking good to me. Let me know in the comments if this is good.
Caught on camera.
Does that Nukes audio sound good? It's much better in the terms of volume, yes. Daniel C, what's up? Thanks for joining the chat. I know I won't be able to stay for the entire stream, but I'll be here for as long as I can. Sweet. Amy, you didn't miss much. I just went over and explained just a few things, what we're doing. We're going to do a quick Nukes reaction, and then I'm going to get into reading some stories, some of the stories that you guys have sent to me on the super chat. A message on the super chat. Check out the channel Bizarre Hub. It's another Ghost Vid compilation channel. Oh, nice. I'll check that out. Bizarre Hub. It's another Ghost Vid compilation channel. Okay, I'm putting that down. I have an off-screen document here that I'm taking notes. So Bizarre Hub. Sorry, 1 second. Bizarre Hub. Nice. Okay. Incoming drones and blimps. Yes, exactly. All right, let's get into it.
Sky spiral. On December 9, 2009, just before sunrise, a strange light appeared in the northern skies of Norway. Now, this is not something that would ordinarily be considered strange, considering Norway is well known for its northern lights, which are caused by naturally occurring solar storms. But this particular event was very different. What started out as a simple glowing beam turned into something unexplainable as the amazing phenomena started spinning into a perfect spiral.
Whoa!
Then suddenly, a hundreds of miles wide spiral seemed to get swallowed by a black hole. Witnesses were stunned. The mysterious spiraling blue light show soon caught the attention of news networks internationally.
Stargazers have a big mystery on their hands, a giant spiral of light that suddenly appeared over northern Norway.
Norwegians were treated to a spectacular light show early Wednesday morning that immediately set tongues wagging, everyone asking what created that giant blue pinwheel in the sky.
After contacting multiple sources and getting very few answers, news outlets ultimately speculated that the event might have been a failed Russian rocket test. So, what do you think? Do you believe it was just a rocket test gone wrong, or proof that there's more out there than the government tells us? Let me know your opinion in the comments down below.
That was really bizarre. I'm gonna mute that and just replay kind of some of the video of that. Wow. Okay, so the military said it was them. Okay. I don't remember, I've never seen Captain Disillusion cover this. I've never actually even seen this before. So if you guys have comments, it was them, a defective rocket started spiraling. Wow, looks like the SpaceX launch, but spinning. So, okay. Yes, this is definitely a real thing. Like, this isn't like fake CGI or anything like this. This was covered, like a lot of people saw this. And, I've never actually seen this specific one, but I did see the SpaceX launch, and also a couple months ago, I don't know, a few months ago now, time flies, I saw the SpaceX launching their satellites, which didn't really look like this, but it looked really, really cool. And so I am totally on board with the fact that this is a rocket. So it appears that, I don't know how to say it. Is it knock? Should I just say knock instead of NOC? The military said it was them. A defect rocket started spiraling. That is totally very a feasible thing that it could have been a defective rocket. It's actually surprising to me that the military said it was them, but it very well could have been. Spiral was due to the motor, and the blue plume was aluminum oxide. Oh, interesting. So it sounds like this is a pretty well covered, explored thing that people understood what it actually was. So that is really neat. But it's not going to go on my list. Sounds like it.
The mysterious
we know what it is.
Wednesday pinwheel in the sky.
That is really cool, though.
Contacting multiple sources and getting failed to rock.
Okay.
Europe. This
Ring of
series
smoke.
footage taken in Kazakhstan has
Whoa.
residents and online viewers convinced it's definitive proof of extraterrestrial
What
life.
the heck?
On April 4th, 2015, confused locals watched as a mysterious cloud began to hover ominously over the village of Shortendy. The cloud hovered there for 15 minutes before it vanished as quickly as it appeared. Some believe the black cloud formation to be a naturally occurring weather event known as a thermal microburst, which is caused by a falling mass of warm air. However, what makes this theory questionable is that these microbursts are caused by bad weather, usually a thunderstorm or even a tornado. In the video, it's clear that there are absolutely no signs of bad weather present, not even another cloud in the sky. Sky quakes.
Wow, that is also really bizarre. That already, I'm happier with this UFO compilation. Mysterious things caught in the sky than normally they are. That does look real. It doesn't. Just from what Nuke said here, it looks like there's only this one source. To me, it definitely does look like it's something really in the sky. It's not added in or fake or edited in. But whatever in the heck could be causing that, I have no idea. It doesn't. That explanation, the weather phenomenon, doesn't seem like. It doesn't seem like that would account for what we're seeing here. Any thoughts on that? Big dirty truck somewhere, like a truck doing donuts in the sky with like black diesel smoke. Wasn't there an Alien Contact movie that had that as a promotional video? Was there? Really, Alina? This is a like a movie trailer? That wouldn't be surprising. I know companies and like video game people, they often will do like they'll often like anonymously put stuff out onto the internet that's professionally made to like get people thinking about like their upcoming project, like subliminally. But is that what you think this is? Around 2015, that the aliens contact people using a ring of smoke code. That's worth investigating. I'm gonna. Okay, that's actually worth looking into because I would really like to know if that is coming from that movie. So what I'm gonna do here, I've got my. I want to show off this new ghost rating, which is linked in the description. My niece did this, made it all fancy and snazzy. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this on as a 5, just so I can do more research and figure out where that actually is coming from, what the source of that is. Black. Sorry, my keyboard is over here. Black smoke ring in sky. I'm gonna put it as a 5. That is and the Moonlit rating system, a 5 means on the fence, want to investigate further. So yeah, you guys should have a view only to all of that. Let's Denver, it's called Arrival. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Even another cloud in the sky. Almost itself.
Let's move on
that
to
has been reported around the world.
Skyquakes.
There's an odd phenomena that has been reported around the world where loud noises can be heard that actually seem to emanate from the very sky itself. Sounds range from loud pulsing booms to audio that seems almost musical. The phenomena is so common that it has even been given a name: skyquakes. Now, no one knows the source of these skyquakes, but some.
Has anybody here in this chat actually seen or heard, I don't know, heard a skyquake? When I was like 16 or 17, I was out in front of my street late at night skateboarding. I skateboard, and I noticed that there were bright flashes of light shooting through the sky, like coming from a source, and they were followed by a large rumbling. I didn't feel it. It wasn't like an earthquake, but it was like a boom. And it happened like 4 or 5 times in successive row. And to this day, I have no idea what it was. And I thought, like, looking in the direction, I like got on Google Maps trying to figure out what was in that direction. It seemed like it was coming from the ground, not the sky. But I have no idea what it was. It was like a burst of light. Really weird. But maybe that's what this is going to be talking about.
Some theorists speculate that the sounds could have possible extraterrestrial or UFO origins. One thing is certain: these strange sounds have been reported by news outlets all over the world.
There's been a lot of buzz over the last few weeks about strange sounds being heard in the atmosphere. People around the world and here at home have reported hearing some bizarre noises.
That heard a loud boom coming from the skies last night.
Heard and felt a loud noise around 12.
Soul Kibble, are you responding to what you think I saw? Hopes of rain. It was like white. That's interesting. So it was like, it could be. I didn't see any, you see several asteroids. I didn't see anything burning up. I didn't see streaks. It was just like over the horizon, there was, and it would like pause for a second, and then it would happen again. It happened like, I don't know, something like 4, maybe 5 times. Yeah, it was really weird.
12:30 Central Time this afternoon.
The area's been plagued by loud, booming sounds. Problem is, no one knows where the sound is coming from.
I'm going to try and describe it for everyone here, okay? If you took a whale's mating call, added a 5th grader learning to play French horn, and threw in some cheeseball ghost sound
Who is this guy? What is he talking about?
effects from a haunted house, that would be like the noise that a lot of people woke up to in St. Paul this morning.
Creepy sounds have also been documented by YouTube users worldwide.
Yeah, that is weird. That is weird. We got Soul Kibble explaining this mystery that stayed with me for, I don't know, like for over a decade. He's saying that it was probably an asteroid, like breaking up in the atmosphere. That's interesting. I've looked into certain things like that. There is a oh gosh, there's an interesting phenomenon that happened over in some obscure, like out in the middle of nowhere over Russia, that like leveled a bunch of trees. It's called an airburst. I think it's when a larger asteroid gets really low and then explodes. I've looked into that, but it was probably, if what you're saying is what I saw, I can imagine it would be like smaller little versions of that. That's really interesting. I'll have to think about that. Yeah. Tunguska, thank you, Nog. Yeah.
Other non-UFO conspiracy theories for the cause of these sounds range all the way from secret government weather control devices to even the assertion by some religious groups that the sounds herald the beginning of the apocalypse. So what do you think these weird sounds are? Let me know in the comments below.
Okay, so it seemed like that there could be just a variety, that there's not like one single thing that's causing like those sounds all over the world, different places, different times. I don't have a good explanation for it. It seems like sometimes they could be like large, I don't know, large machinery, or I don't know. It's just like, I'm trying to imagine what that would be like if you just like walked out on your front porch one night and it's just like all encompassing a sound coming from nowhere. I don't know. Does anybody have any theories on what those things are? Butterfly migration. Technically speaking, an asteroid roughly 10 kilometers in diameter has enough kinetic force to wipe out a majority of life on the planet. Wow. Sounds like some big rusty something resonating. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I don't know what these things are. I don't know what makes sounds like that. I'm going to do more research into it, because it has stumped me. I think this is the second or maybe third time we've heard this during these live streams, so I'm going to put that on the list as a 5. I don't know that it's necessarily anything paranormal, or like if it's like religious glory bells rushing in the apocalypse or anything like that. I'm sure there's a natural phenomenon for it. It's just, I would like to know what it is. So I'm gonna put it on the list here. It's not necessarily a haunting, actually. And for those of you who don't know, haunting... Oh, I put that on the wrong list. You know what? Research ideas, fan suggestions. It's going to go in hauntings for now. I'm gonna strange sound. Okay. We're going to finish this up, and then we're going to get into Rob's bizarre bub, and then after that we're gonna read a story. Let's take a look at some comments. Multiple sounds and point it towards the sky. We got Soul Kibble saying, another theory could be that multiple sounds seem to be synchronizing at exactly the same time. It's that same kind of effect where if a room full of people say hello at the same time. That could be. Amy says, think of the noise when you blow across the top of a bottle. Yeah, interesting. Then think how the wind could blow across a steel roof or through a barn, etc. Could be loud and sound like that. It's very true. Where despite everyone speaking in a normal voice, all of it combined makes it sound much louder. Yeah. Humming in the wind. Yeah, I agree with a lot of those things. It could just be a lot of different things making those weird noises. Floating City. If this is what I think it is, then...
Floating City.
This video surfaced out of China, and it looks like their city is floating in the clouds, of course.
Now here's a bizarre one for you. An actual floating city in the sky. Or is it? At least 5 times over the last 6 years, this mysterious phenomenon has occurred in the skies over China. The latest strange event taking place this year on April 21st, 2017. Now, it's undeniable that this is a real event, considering how many times the mysterious floating city has appeared, and each time it's been captured on camera by multiple witnesses. But opinions on just what it is vary. Now, one of the strange leading theories is that the floating city is a hologram produced by the authorities carrying out a, quote, Project Bluebeam test. Project Bluebeam is a conspiracy theory which believes that NASA plans to one day use holograms and telepathy to simulate an alien invasion of Earth
Yeah.
or even the second coming of Christ.
I have heard of that.
Another theory is that it's a portal.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I've heard of that. So there's weather manipulation and just all sorts of crazy things, like to influence elections, to do all sorts of crazy things. Yeah, that's weird.
From a different dimension, giving us a brief glimpse of a city in another part of the universe. Now, the previous theories seem more like movie plots than actual science. So, the most believable theory is that the floating city is merely a fata morgana. A fata morgana is a mirage that causes observers to see images that are sometimes upside down or stacked one on top of the other. It's caused by light rays being bent by extremely dense air. One example is when traveling on a road on a hot day, and you might see water in the distance, water which will then disappear when you come close. Whichever theory is true, that's up to you to decide. UFO near Paris.
So about that, yeah, a lot of what you guys are saying, the Fata Morgana effect, it's like a rainbow, light and dark reflecting. Yeah, mirage or some Chinese movie promo. I don't think it's a movie promo. I am trying to find, actually, is anybody here familiar with the Boo Review? Like, they haven't posted in, it looks like 2 years. But they inspired me to create this channel. Like they actually addressed that, the floating city, and they had a good breakdown of what it actually was. If I can find it, or if somebody can find like a link explaining exactly what that effect is. It is a natural effect. It's a Fata Morgana, and there is a real solution to why that's happening, and it's not fake. It's real, as far as I know. Nice. Daniel C used to watch them. Well, China smog is thick. I'm for the Morgana effect. Yeah, it's a really bizarre thing, but there is a scientific explanation for it. So I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but I have seen people explain it, so it's not going on my list. We're going to move on to UFO near Paris, and then we're going to get into Rob's Bizarre Bub channel.
In September 2016, a disc-shaped object appeared over Paris, France. A witness captured it on camera, at first believing it to be a helicopter. Only after zooming in did the skeptic begin to doubt his own theory. In the footage, it's clear that the object is not anything you'd normally see in the sky. It has a saucer shape and moves very slowly through the clouds. Now, most UFO videos are very easy to debunk, but this one seems much more realistic than most. If you look close, you can see light reflecting off the circular object.
Wow.
The clip also seems more believable because the camera operator actually zooms and focuses on the object several times. This video is either a special effects video created by someone who took a lot of time to create this saucer-shaped object in exceptional detail, or it's actual footage of a UFO. So, what do you think?
So about that UFO, this is just what I have to say about that UFO. I would disagree with Nuke when he says exceptional detail. I mean, it did look, when he zoomed in, that it did appear that there was light reflecting off of it, but I wouldn't consider light reflecting off of a metallic object exceptional detail. So this is what I'm going to say about that UFO. There are so many UFO sightings in the world that I believe they're real. And when I say UFOs, that's all that is an unidentified flying object. A balloon in the sky, if you don't know that it's a balloon, it's a UFO. In terms of things that look like flying saucers or whatever, or things that are maybe actually more alien-like, I do believe that there are things in the sky that we don't know what they are, like the U.S. government, like top secret military things, or potentially even alien craft in the sky. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised. That said, these types of videos, these type of UFO videos, this is not going on my list. It's just, there's just not enough there. It could be some weird thing that we don't know, but it needs to have a higher criteria. Like, there needs to be a lot more detail. And when you get into a lot more detail, you run into that's when you're like, okay, is this like edited? Did somebody design this in a motion graphics class and put this up as a school project or whatever? So to me, there's got to be a lot more detail. This is not going on the list, even though it very well could be something very strange. We're gonna do Rob's Bizarre Bub, I think. What did Rob say here? Check out the channel Bizarre Bub. It's another ghost vid compilation channel. Rob, you're still in? I hope you're still in. I didn't, and I apologize if you had to leave, and we didn't get to your Bizarre Bob while you were in, because for some reason, I didn't even realize there was a comment attached to your $5. That shows how like observant I am, but I still appreciate it. Thank you. Is there any specific Bizarre Bub video that you want me to look at? Let's see. Bizarre Bub is good. Okay. Maybe we could look at one of their most popular videos. 6 scary things said by AI robots. Yeah, I'm not watching that one. It's similar to Nukes or Spooks. That's interesting. I've never even heard of Bizarre Bub, but I'm glad we know about it. I'm glad I know about it now. From gaming, 11 things never to type into Google Translate. 5 scary sounds that activate your fight or flight. Let's see. Let's take a look at, I don't want to watch a long one because right after this we're gonna share some stories. Oh, he doesn't have that many videos, interestingly. Let's just take a look at Scary Compilation V43. Nancy, thanks for joining the stream. Oh, is the stream blurry? Am I blurry? I hope I'm good, but we're gonna do Scary Comp V43.
A child is recording her mother in the kitchen when something downright creepy is caught on camera. Eliza Ortiz, who suggested the video, writes, "Absolutely terrifying. The mother had no clue that the video her daughter had taken would contain something that would chill her to the core. Her daughter was playing with her phone and ended up recording something straight out of a horror movie. Watch closely and you'll see it. This is what she caught."
If I'm being trolled right now, guys. I need you to help me with what's going on. What? So this is a dark shadow figure?
Siéntate. Siéntate para tomarnos una foto. Espérame, se está tirando.
Is there more?
Ay, estuvo muy raro esto.
That's weird.
No se vengan para acá porque voy a trapear. No se vayan a resbalar.
In another room, there appears to be a tall silhouette standing completely still and then disappearing as soon as the camera pans back to where it was spotted. The figure doesn't appear till later in the video, which makes this even more strange. Just like viewers, the mother can't think of anything to explain this, other than this being a ghost or some sort of entity. Now, I can't help but think that this may have been someone who broke in and was trying to hide, but quickly fled after being spotted by the camera. But of course, I could be wrong. I'll leave it to you to figure this one out.
I'm just gonna go back to the original, like without it slow-mo or anything. Boom, right there. I wish the arrow wasn't there, but... So it's there, and then the camera pans back, right? No, no, and then it's not there. What do you guys think about that? Supposedly that thing turned on the water. It looked like the water was running, right? So I do believe that there are such things as shadow people, shadow entities. I just I just am a little skeptical of this one, but I want to be open-minded. I want to be open-minded. No space behind the bottle. If it wasn't gone, like as the camera panned back, I wouldn't even really think it was the shape of a person. To the fact that it leaves. And it's gone. It definitely, in my opinion, it definitely was not a physical person like breaking in, or even somebody a part of something standing there and then running out of screen. So that leaves it was either hoaxed, it was something added in after the fact, or there was some natural thing accounting for that, which is hard for me to figure out what could have actually accounted for that. Lacks depth. Yeah, agree. Not a person standing there. It's not a great hiding place. It's just trying to hide behind the the water jug. Oh boy. What do you think? Should this video be investigated further? I'm inclined to give it like a 4. I don't necessarily want to put it on my list, but I could be persuaded. 6 doesn't seem like a person. Right now I'm at like a 4 or 5 for putting this on my list. If it's a 5, I will do a follow-up and try to figure out more in depth what it actually is. Cardboard figure pulled quickly. Could be. So actually that brings up a good question. If it is a cardboard figure, if it was a cardboard cutout, could a cardboard cutout be that without any effects, without any editing after the fact? Could a cardboard cutout be that dark just in the natural lighting, in the natural setting there? I think 6 too. All right. I have a few of you saying 6. I'd like to see the original video, not their edited and arrow video. Yeah, I would too. All right. I will put this. I'll put this on my list as a 5. Shadow figure. And it's going to be a 5. And actually, I forgot to do the strange sound. That's going to be 5 as well. Okay. Guys, so we're gonna do this bizarre bub. This is a good resource to do in the future. I'm gonna get to some storytelling here. So I'm staying on until, let's see. I'm staying on until 8:05. Every $1 that you guys like send super chats or super stickers, I'm staying on a minute longer. Every $1 equals a minute. Rob gave $5 right at the very beginning, which is super cool, which is super exciting. So staying on until 8:05, and around that time, I'll evaluate again to see if I got any members. Make sure to join this channel if you haven't joined yet and you enjoy doing this stuff. If you join this channel, you get your name in the credits to my Moonlit Tales that I post weekly. My Moonlit Tales, hopefully you're familiar with. I do cool stories about different things. And actually Monday, I also want to apologize. Sorry guys, I didn't post a lot this week. I had a lot going on, but I'm getting back on track. Next week, Monday, I'm talking about The Haunting of the Gnat, which is going to be a great Moonlit Tale, so make sure to join that. So $1 equals 5 minutes. No. One per minute. Oh, come on. Yeah, so no, $1 equals 1 minute. somebody could do like $30 and then I'd be like, wowza. Okay. But also Patreon, that counts too. I'm going to be actively checking my Patreon. If you guys want to join me on Patreon, you guys get in the credits, and you guys get like daily. I am often updates for the Moonlit Ghost. I have stuff planned out daily all next week for the channel. Amy Winterfell, $1 equals 5 minutes. I am really going to have to think about that. Like, if you want to do $5, it's 5 extra minutes. If somebody's doing like $10, 10 extra minutes. If you want to hit me up on Patreon, those will be like a poltergeist, like 15 minutes. $15 poltergeist would be 15 extra minutes. So let's get into some storytelling. All right. So right off the bat, so Kite Supreme, CC copy and pasted a story from Kite Supreme. Kite Supreme was on this stream really early, like before, like an hour early, and shared this story. And I haven't had a chance to read it yet. So this is going to be a surprise to me right here. Excuse me. All right, so thank you, CC, for posting this on the Discord. Okay. This story is by Kite Supreme. I'll be sleeping by the time the show starts, but I'll leave my story here to start you off. This really happened with multiple witnesses during a hot summer day in my mom's backyard at the swimming pool. My 2 sisters were there, a family friend, my mom, and stepdad. We were doing yard work, just garden and pool stuff. Next to the pool is a tool shed. The pool was surrounded by a fence that's about 4 feet high. I don't know if you know what Devil's Fork fencing is, but basically it makes it impossible for anyone to climb over. And it's kept closed with a padlock. So it's the pool, then the shed, then a little garden flat. There's 2 bathrooms, 1 big lounge, small kitchen, 1 main bedroom. On the shed's side is a small bedroom with its own shower and toilet. Anyway, I was tasked to clean the pool while everyone else was doing whatever was tasked to them. So this is really my first true paranormal experience that was blatant and in my face. Sorry. I'm excited to see what happens here. This is really interesting already. I unlocked the pool gate with pool broom and net in hand to clean the pool. I walked to the side of the pool that would be next to the shed. As I looked down, I saw 2 small wet footprints coming out of the pool onto the hot tiles that's been baking in the sun. They were clearly footprints of someone, I guess, of 7 years old or so. The smallest person there that day had way bigger feet than these. No one else was there, and the pool was locked. There wasn't any splash marks like you would expect when someone is getting out from the pool. Thank you. Emily says, I love your storytelling voice. I really appreciate that. When you expect someone getting out of the pool. Just 2 small, wet footprints. The toes, everything was clearly visible. My little sister, like I said, had bigger feet. I immediately called everyone, and they were just as surprised as I was. I couldn't tell if it was pool water or not, but it was drying fast. It blew us away, as I explained. Everything was locked, and we've been here all day. A child like this could not have climbed over the fence. It's physically impossible. The reason why I mentioned the room closet to the shed, the one with the shower, well, when the shower there, you can feel someone tapping your shoulder. Oh, sorry. Well, when you shower there, you can feel someone tapping your shoulder, sometime your arm. Whoa, really? So a year or 3 passed, and my girlfriend at the time and I decided to move into that apartment. One day she was taking a shower in the small room. I was on the other side of the flat fixing a sandwich. She yelled, "Stop!" thinking it was me tapping her the whole time. How crazy. A few other things happened too, like an automatic fragrancer falling from a fridge that had an edge, so nothing could have slid off. My nephew of 5 years old being scared shirtless by something banging on his door when he was standing next to it waiting for his mom to come out of the bathroom in the main house. But here's the interesting part. Not saying everything else wasn't. Lol, but an old lady who lived in our street who grew up there said that when she was a little girl, there were only 3 houses in that area. It's the foot of the Magalies. Oh, it's the foot of the Magalies mountain range in Wrightfontein, Pretoria, she said. When she was little, the whole area was full of tall blossom trees. She also used to walk to school, and she would pass the house where my mom is staying now, and there would be other children there. She said it was like a small orphanage or something like that, but the house was also a place where they did abortions. I think it was in the 1920s. I didn't know if it was legal in my country at the time to do abortions. Maybe the house was a children's hospital or something. I don't know. But it seems that some of them may have passed away there, maybe even murdered. So yeah, there's definitely something going on there now, but it doesn't feel off, threatening, or scary. This is 100% real. I'm estranged from my mom now, so I don't go there anymore. It would be nice to see if I could get some voices or EVPs. Or is it ESPs on a recording or something? It's EVPs, electrical voice phenomenon. I'll definitely do that someday, and if you're around by then, I'll share with you if I find anything. Well, that's it. 100% real. Of course, my other family members had their own experiences. I just never saw something, though. That would be cool. Peace, guys. Hope you like my story. For sure. Okay, so I just want to make sure I read all of this, and then I have a lot of great comments. I did. I really love the story. Hope my grammar in English isn't too bad. I'm actually Afrikaans in my home language. I may have made some typos. I wasn't proofreading. Good night. Oh, and the footprints dried up. You could see the little toe impressions and everything. Was really amazing. I promise this is a legit story. The others will tell you the same. Little toes and everything. No one else there with the same size, not even close. Gate was locked. We were there the whole time. No water splashing sounds or splashes where the feet came out of the pool. It wasn't even close to the steps of the pool. It was, however, at the shallow end. Wow. 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 So thank you, Cece, for posting that, but thank you, Kite Supreme, for sharing that story. That is a really interesting story, and I believe you. Like, I really believe that experience happened. And the interesting thing about sharing these stories and watching all these paranormal videos is that, like, these stories that you share with me, I believe these stories more than most of the video stuff that I see online that are supposedly paranormal things. When people take the time to write out their experience, like this, you know, it's well, you don't know, anybody could fake anything, but like it seems more genuine and it seems more real to me. And these experiences that you shared, Kite, so many people have experiences just like that. I can think of so many just in my own head where they're just like odd, weird, strange things. Like, just like you said, the feet coming out of the water. and like somebody tapping you on the shoulder or in the shower. Obviously, there are a lot of things, our minds play tricks on us and whatever, but at the same time, stuff like this does happen. I'm absolutely convinced of it, and that's what this channel, that's what I want to do on this channel, is share these stories and really figure all of this stuff out. Let's take a look at some comments here. Anyway, okay, 2.5 minutes. Okay, I'm negotiable, lol. Story time, yay. I love your storytelling voice. Thank you, Emily. Alina says, why is that ghost skinny dipping Freaky Ghost Friday? Cool story. Thanks for sharing with us. Great story. Yes, thank you for sharing that, Kite. Let's see. Share a story. Oh, I wanted to read Matt's story as well, but also I think did Soul Kibble have something? Here's a story. So I used to have one of those brain warp. It was basically like a 3D Simon Says. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Toys. And one night at our old lake home, I was trying to fall asleep in my room when suddenly the toy just booted up on its own. You needed to push the button to do so, with the loud sound followed by Get ready to brain warp. I think I know what that is. In its usual deep sounding voice. Get ready to brain warp. I immediately jumped out of my bed and ran out the room. Slept in the living room that night. Yeah, so those automatic toys that you have to push buttons and things, like those dolls that like have say weird things. Yeah, like that happens. I've had experiences like that happen. One time, so I grew up in a house in South Carolina. I had my young childhood there. I didn't grow up there. My family moved. I was probably, I don't know, 10 or 11 or 12, sometime around in there when my family moved to Utah. But I may have been 7, 8, or 9, somewhere around in there. And I had like this little wall of toys. There was like shelves of just like action figures, stuffed animals, toys, or whatever. And there was I had this one weird gremlin stuffed. It wasn't stuffed, there was like air in it, but it was just this ugly looking gremlin toy that was very clearly, very easily stable on the shelf. And I remember this to this day. I remember it because I was playing Super Mario World on the, not the original Nintendo, on the Super Nintendo. In this house, if you watch my first video, the first video I ever posted on this channel, I kind of explain what this house was like, but it was a really creepy house. And all weird stuff happened there. But I was playing Super Nintendo, Super Mario Bros. And right out of the corner of my eye, I could see it. Like, I wasn't like focusing on it, but I could see it, like it was just right off to the side, like sitting on the shelf. And it was clearly sitting on the shelf. It wasn't like balancing on the edge or anything like that. And I was just playing Super Mario Bros. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw it just tilt up and fall off the shelf. Okay, I know we've talked about on this channel that if things are always in a state of like falling, like coming to the earth. But in my like 8-year-old mind, and I'm convinced to this day that it wasn't in a state of falling. Like, it was secured on the shelf. And I saw it on the corner of my eye. It like tilted upward, like somebody just like boop, like pushed, like boop. And it fell to the ground, and it made this weird little poof, like a sound when it hit. It was like filled with air. It was just this weird thing. And I just was like, I paused the game and I just looked over at it, and I just set my controller down and I slowly walked out of the room. And just like you said, you slept in the living room that night. Like, I don't know who else was in the house. I'm sure I wasn't home alone, but like I just went into the other room and I like didn't go back in that room for a long time. I don't know. It could have been just on the edge, but I didn't think it was. I don't know. So that's a funny thing. Let's read some comments. I have Cece says she has a theory of the footprint. Have you ever drawn little footprints on a steamy window with the side of your fist? When we were kids, we'd draw footprints walking up windows. Oh, ooh, we got Cece coming in with the detective work here. That's a really interesting take on it. Emily says, my boys are inspired by you. They just pranked me. When I opened the bathroom door, the water turned on. They set up a string to turn it on in the dark. I couldn't see the string. Oh man, I gotta give Jack and Tav a high five after that. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Yeah, anyway. Let's see. That's why I don't keep those types of toys anymore. Yeah, I know, so Kibble. Yeah, me either. Oh, that's funny. That's really great. Let's, I wanted to read, we got, I don't think I've read this. We got one from Rob and we got one from Matt in the share a story. So right now, I want to clarify something the way this works. I'm trying to incorporate this into my Patreon, but right now, like, I'm reading, I'm kind of just going through all of the different channels, like the cryptid chat, the ghost chat, the share a story, excuse me. And anywhere that I'm getting stories, I'm sharing them. But when this gets bigger, when there are more people here, I'm going to have to be more selective about which stories I share. If you want to guarantee that your story is going to get seen and told, then I have the Share a Story, which is open to all of my patrons. And just for $1 a month, you get access to the Share a Story channel. And so what I'm going to do here, we're coming up on 8:05. So I'm going to read Rob's story and then Matt's story. And then I have one more story. And then after that, I'm going to check my Patreon and see about our chats and see where we're at. And then I'm going to have to, probably going to call it a good stream. Okay. So Rob, I don't believe I read this one. So Rob said, so not sure if it's paranormal, but I can't explain it. My mom's husband died in a motorcycle crash a few years ago. And on the 1-year anniversary of his death, I had music playing on my phone through YouTube, and a song that reminded me of him started playing. I listened for a while, but I started crying, so I exited YouTube and turned my screen off. And a few seconds later, the song started playing again, but YouTube doesn't play while the screen is off, and the app wasn't even open. Yeah, I can't say if that's paranormal or not. I know that there are a lot of weird things like that. I've had similar experiences, and it is really trippy when something like that happens. Like when you're just on your computer, and this has happened to me a few times. You're on your computer, and like a tab that you are not even looking at starts randomly playing a video, and I don't know why that happens or how that happens. So I appreciate the story. I can't say one way or another whether that was paranormal or not. I think that's kind of you have to just kind of decide for yourself. All right, we've got. I'm gonna do Matt's story, and then I have one more. That was emailed to me, which I think is a very good story. Okay. MH0, and I believe this is Matt. In 2014, my granddad died. He left behind my gran, who lived on in their house till early 2018, when she moved into a care home. She had developed dementia over the years since the passing of my granddad, and could no longer be trusted to be on her own. Around 5 months after my granddad passed, I moved to the Midlands, around 2 hours away, so didn't visit home or my gran as much as I had previously. Christmas 2017, I returned home to stay with my family in London for a week. My dad and I went to visit my gran, who by this point was still pretty coherent, but would often say strange stuff. We had been at her house for around an hour, just chatting and generally having a catch up when my gran started crying uncontrollably. My dad had warned me beforehand that she sometimes did this, and as he was sat next to her, he just gave her a hug, and she started to calm down a little. She looked straight at me. I was sat alone on a couch across the room and smiled. She said, "I'm so happy I've got to see you both again. It's not often you have a chance to come back to see us, Matt, and your granddad is so proud of you. He tells me every day and is so happy he can be here with you now to tell you himself." As she finished saying that, she started crying again. My dad was still hugging her and just gave me a she's losing her grip on reality kind of look. "You're gonna make me cry, Matt." I did feel a kind of chill on my neck and down my right side where there was an empty gap on the couch. But it was an old house with a lot of drafty spots, so I didn't think anything of that. Add in what my dad had told me about her dementia, I left it at that. A few moments later, her carer came in to do her daily clean and whatnot, so my dad and I left. As I mentioned, in January 2018, she was moved into a care home. The final straw was when she, at 2 a.m., went out into the street calling out Granddad to come back and finish their conversation. I never saw my gran again as she passed away herself in May 2018, almost exactly 4 years after my granddad. But my dad would go to visit her every other day, and days he didn't go, his brother, my uncle, would go to see her. In the few months she was there, the care home staff reported that she would often be in her room talking to Arthur, my granddad, and then she would cry out, asking him to come back. Obviously, everyone put this down to her dementia, but I honestly think in those final months, he was visiting her and getting her ready for what's next. I've heard a few other people with elderly relatives who have said exactly the same thing since. Yeah, I think you're right on, Matt. I think that really does happen. And I don't think it's for anyone to say unless you are the one personally invested in the specific situation, whether or not it comes down to just dementia, or if spirits or angels or anything like that are really interacting and really kind of preparing people for what comes next, like you say. And so just my impression is that I believe you. I think your granddad could have very well been there. So it's 8:07. I went through a lot of stress and anxiety. I said that I would share. Was that my email? Let's see. The theory. Let's read some comments. My dad, when he was a kid, swears he saw a grinning Santa elf in his bedroom window. Wow. Still swears about it today. We all believe he saw that, but we can't explain. That is, as Emily says, a creepy Santa. Oh, Amy's got she's got an update on her paper. Turns out that paper was something important I have been looking for. Yes, my blowing up paper from last chat. So there's that. So, wow. So Amy is saying there was this weird paper that was moving. It didn't appear to be moving by like blowing wind or a vent or anything like that. And she's saying that it was an important paper she was looking for. So it was just like the paper was trying to get your attention, or some guardian angel or some spirit was trying to get your attention to show you that's where it was. That's really interesting. Alina says, was that my email? Oh, so, okay, 1 second. Soul Kibble says, that story hits close to home because my dementia-ridden grandpa managed to wander out of the house a few months back. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. I need to pull up from Alina, I know you emailed me. I am trying to remember if I shared your story or not. But the email that I was talking about, it's one from Ram Flotez. I actually was communicating with him earlier today, and I told him I asked him if I could share the story, and he said yeah. And I am going to share that right now. So, okay, this is from Ram Flotez. Forgive me if I'm not saying your name correctly. This happened to me when I was younger. Could not remember exactly when, but ever since this incident, my life somewhat changed. So, a brief introduction about me. I am from a country in Southeast Asia where there's a rich cultural and religious belief on spirits and such. This intertwines with our religious belief. And since I was young, I was exposed to such beliefs and the acts to avoid for any bad omen from happening to you. So before I moved houses near my old residence, there was this playground where people in the neighborhood believed to be keres in Malay, which literally means hard in English. It's a term people use to describe an area which they feel like a hotspot for entities to wander, as the area is secluded in a park which rested on the foot of a slope, which a highway is located on. To put it in perspective, the highway lies on top of the slope with huge thick trees left to grow on the slope, and right at the bottom there is the playground. A park/walkway bordered the circumference playground. So basically the playground is sandwiched in between the highway and the park. It all started when my siblings and my mom was walking through the park to get home after my religious class. Since this is our usual way home and it was still bright around 3 to 4 p.m., sunset is around 7 in my country, nothing crossed our minds when we walked past the park. As usual, I would run towards the playground and sneak in some fun time on the playground while my mom walked to the other side of the playground. And me being young and energetic, I would just crash when I reached back home because I have spent all my energy between the religious class and playing on the playground. So this is something that is quite common when I was younger, which was to attend classes, followed by me playing with my friends before heading home and taking a nap when I reached home, usually around the same time, around 5 to 6 p.m. However, this is when I got so-called possessed or almost possessed by a spirit. This time, I slept behind my dad on my parents' bed when I opened on my parents' bed, but when I opened my eyes, my vision was different. Everything seemed stretched out or elongated away from me. It's like when you draw a long hallway and must distort the shapes away towards the furthest point of the view, or like a point projection perspective. Closest I can describe it. However, this only applies to inanimate objects, so my dad's back seemed fine to me, but somehow he seemed far away, even when I have my arms outstretched towards him. The bed that I was on seemed to stretch so far, and he seemed to be laying at the end. Panicked, I tried pulling on the bedsheet, trying to get to him, but I couldn't seem to get any closer despite pulling on the bedsheet and even grabbing the bed and pulling myself toward him. So I started crying and turned to the other side where the end of the bed should be, because it made sense to me if he's far, so I should be near the edge of the bed. But when I turned the bed, it was elongated away from me as well. So I pulled myself towards the bed. So I pulled myself towards the end of the bed, but the more I pulled myself, the further away I'd be. So I cried for help and closed my eyes. Next thing I felt was me being in my mom's arms as she carried me out of the room as my dad was sleeping, as he was working the night before and got home that morning. So my mom brought me to the living room and asked me what is wrong. Then I opened my eyes and saw her. Then I opened my eyes and I saw her, the spirit of a little girl in front of me. Her hair was braided into 2 ponytails running down each side on her shoulders. She's dressed in the colonial Britain attire, khaki shirt and shorts, and she was jumping around as if she is interested in playing with me. My mom was confused, but she soon felt there might be something that I am seeing, so she placed me down and called or chased away the spirit out of the house, saying, "You are not welcome here," over and over again, as she opened the door leading to the outside. She then asked me to point out to her where this spirit was at, and I kept pointing to the spirit, but to her, it was just empty space. She threw chairs, she threw the broomstick, anything that she could get a hold of, somewhat scare the spirit out of the house, but the spirit would just jump away from the objects, thinking that they were playing. But as soon as she stepped out of the door, I notified my mom and she closed the door. The confirmation for her was what we both heard on the other side of the door. The sound of wet hands running down a door, or like a screeching sound. And that confirms what I saw, as I thought I was just seeing things, and the elongated, stretched out view that I experienced was due to something I ate or some sort of allergy. But the experiences did not stop here, as after which, as I grew up, I experienced a lot of shadow people and how they morph to something that we are afraid of. I have seen how it happened in front of my eyes, so that I can share in another time if this is where you are heading towards. Unfortunately, I don't have any photographic or video evidence, as I grew up without any handphones. Talk or describe spirit you might attack back. And then Ram just goes on to just explain that he doesn't have any evidence, physical evidence, and that now that he's older, he's going to try to get a good camera and try to find out what actually is that he experienced. So that experience is, it's those type of stories that I am very intrigued by, and I love sharing on this channel. Why? Because there are very similar experiences, sleep paralysis, night terrors, and things like along those lines. But in this story, there was an objective third party that heard the hands sliding down on the other side of the door. So I feel like I've shared some of this with you guys in the past, but I have, for years of my life, I struggled with severe night terrors and sleep paralysis. So I really intimately know what that feels like. And it's as bad as everybody says it is. It's really not a fun experience. In terms of the paranormal, the problem with associating a sleep paralysis fit where you open your eyes and you it's like you're awake, but you're not. When you go into REM sleep, your brain switches off like a switch that paralyzes your body, so you don't act out your dreams. But during sleep paralysis, like your brain will switch off your body, but it's like you're in REM sleep, but it's like you are conscious of your surroundings in the real world. And for years of my life, I would go to sleep and I would enter this bizarre place where my eyes would be open and I would see my room and I would see my dreams playing out in front of me, and I was conscious and I was awake essentially. And it's terrifying. It's really horrible. You see all sorts of things. You see shadow figures. You see demonic-like entities like attacking you, and you're trying to run away and you can't. And it's really horrible. But the thing is that this is a documented medical phenomenon, and oftentimes when people share stories like this, there's not a lot of objective outside evidence that this is just all happening in your head, like it's a dream playing out before your eyes. But in Ram's story, it's like, that's what I first thought, is like, oh, he's experiencing sleep paralysis. But then he said that his mom heard the hands on the outside of the door, and that is a link. That is a link to exterior reality. Somebody else experienced it. Now, obviously, Ram could be making this entire story up, but I don't believe he is. I don't believe he is because I read his story. It seemed sincere. I communicated with him back and forth earlier today, and it's my genuine belief that a lot of people have very similar experiences. It's my genuine belief that just more people than not have experiences like this that are very strange and hard to explain, that are more than just the documented, accounted for medical phenomenon of like sleep paralysis and things like this. So thank you, Ram. I hope I'm saying your name right for that story. All right. It is 8:23 with Rob's initial $5. That put us at 8:05, but it looks like we got some other cool things going on here. We got Laynell coming in with $4. We got Rob Nance with another $5. Hi Ram. Hi Jake. Here now. Nice. Laynell, I don't know if you saw, but Laynell is responsible for this, for my ghost rating, which, thank you. I'm super excited about that. Love it. Oh yes, Robert wins. Well, if it isn't the Moonlit ghost, Corey Davis, man, what's up? Thanks for joining us. We going 24 hours? No. Oh, we're not going 24 hours. Maybe one day. That day is not today. Let's see. I had sleep paralysis too, but even Rams here. I'm so glad you're here. I had sleep paralysis too, but even though how prepared I am to face them, I'll just panic when it happens. Yeah, it really is not. It's not. I empathize with you, Ram, because I know exactly how that feels. 25 hours then. All right. I think we had a couple people on Patreon. If you guys want to keep me going, I guaranteed an hour live stream where we did reactions and shared stories. So 5, 10, 14, I'll just round up, Lainel, so 15 extra minutes. And then we've got Patreon here. There goes Patreon. We got Cece coming in with a Patreon, edited their pledge from 250 to 11. Thank you. All right, so that's being factored in. So that is definitely being factored in. I want to actually see where that. Sorry, I don't have that all pulled up here. And you know what? I'm gonna add, just for me like randomly talking and like trying to figure out all this technical stuff, I'll add a half hour in, just cause, on top of everything that you guys are doing with super chats and super stickers and Patreon and stuff. Let me just take a moment to see where we're at. Cece became a poltergeist. Thank you. Oh, that's really exciting. That makes me really happy. Thank you for joining the poltergeist realms. So 5, 10, Lainel, I'm rounding up to 5, 10, 15, and then 30 with Cece's poltergeist contribution. That's gonna give, wow, we're racking it up. So that's a half an hour plus the half hour I said I'd add just for kicks and giggles. That's another hour. Am I doing my math right? We started at 7 o'clock. We did the hour, 8 o'clock. I am saying I'm just adding a half an hour. So it's like 8:30 right now. So on top of 8:30 with CC's $15, Rob's 10, and Lainel's 5, I'm rounding up. All right, we're going till 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Am I doing that right? Somebody call me out if I'm really just messing that up. Nice. I'm a poltergeist now. Share more experiences with you guys if you want me to. So, everybody, right now, like I said, if you guys are dropping stories, it looks like CC has one in the ghost chat. What do you guys want? I love reacting, and I also love sharing these stories. But just comment. Should I tell more stories? Because we've got several of you sharing more stories. Should I share more stories, personal stories from you guys, or do reactions and try to update the moon list? Let me know. What do you guys think in the comments? Reactions, CC says reactions, unless we do it by my math at 2.5. Well, we can do more reactions. Okay, we've got a few people saying reactions. Just keep it half and half. Okay, yeah. Every other one a video. Great. That sounds like a great plan. So let's, over on the Discord, if I cannot tell. Somebody called me out that I'm saying that wrong, and I cannot tell if I'm saying it right. So if it's like bothering you, I genuinely am sorry. I cannot tell for some reason. It doesn't process in my head. Discord. There's a reaction suggestion. If you guys want to see that, go over to the Discord and go to and drop links in the reaction suggestion. Ram Flotes, everybody, Ram Flotes just joined the Discord channel. Everybody hit up, go wave at Ram. And reaction suggestions. This is coming to us from Matt. Let's take a look at what this is here.
Lindsay. 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 Come here. Lindsay. Lindsay. Yeah, could you turn the focus thing? I'm just trying to keep my hands.
Maybe I should have read the title of this video. What is going on here? This is something in the sky. And it's landing.
It's literally a UFO because
A UFO?
Yeah. This will be the best thing they've had since that guy put a love letter in the past down there.
What did he say? Wow.
That must be like a weather balloon or something. It's like too big to be a drone. Oh, I'm losing it.
So Matt says, just seen this one pop up, recorded in Glasgow, Scotland, within the last few days apparently. Let's see what you guys had to say. Pretty sure it's likely one of those human-shaped party balloons, you know, the ones that are stiff and stand upright. It could be. Could be. A lot of people are saying it's a balloon on the web. It's pretty stiff in how it's moving and seems to be moving slowly with the wind, considering it starts to gradually spin. A balloon that lands and walks, Amy says. It looks like there's some controversy about what's going on. Really? We're watching the same video. That was weird. What? I'm just gonna play that again real quick. Now that I read some context here.
Lindsay. Lindsay. Come here. Lindsay. Lindsay. Yeah, could you turn the focus thing? I'm just trying to keep my hands.
You know, it obviously can't be. It's not like in the right position, but it kind of looks like the underside of a, what are they called? They're not skydivers. They're these people that jump off of cliffs and they like glide with but I mean that's obviously not what this is. But it looks like it. It looks like somebody's got their arms out and they've got like a wingsuit. Wingsuit. It looks like somebody in a wingsuit, but I think, does it have like, so there's definition there. It looks like there's a couple things coming out of the bottom of it, which may be feet or something attached to it, like a string maybe.
It's literally a UFO because it's unidentified. Yeah.
There does seem to be a little bit of a glow on the back, so it's reflective, which would fall in line with like a metallic balloon.
This will be the best thing they've had since that guy put a love letter in the past down there. That must be like a weather balloon or something. It's like too big to be a drone.
I'm a little confused at what's happening here. So this is like the end of the video.
Oh, I'm losing it.
Oh, so it's just the end of the video like cuts to like a different frame though. Yeah, why is it doing that? That's just later or something? So it looks like Amy says that the balloon lands and walks. Are we watching? It's a clear cut paste job. You got any clarification on that one, Amy? I don't see that it lands and walks. Like it goes below the horizon. Cece says it's definitely 100% a witch that forgot her broom. That did cross my mind. Actually, what really did cross my mind is when you said that. Do you guys remember like a really old video, like probably over a decade ago? Probably maybe like 15 years ago. It may be too far back, but it was a long time ago that somebody recorded, I think down in Panama or somewhere, I don't know, somewhere maybe in Mexico, and they filmed what looked like an actual person on a broom, like flying through the sky, and they thought it was a legit like witch. Does anybody remember that one? I ain't even gonna have to pull that one up. Launch things, radio channels launch things like this all the time. At the end, you don't see it walking. Rock channels mostly. Okay. Amy says it's walking. Nope, I did not want to click.
A weather balloon or something. I thought it was going down.
So you can see. At what point exactly do you think it's walking? I mean, if it's walking, I really, that would be really amazing.
This will be the best thing they've had since that guy put a love letters in the past down there.
Is it walking right now? Are you saying it's walking right now? To me, it's still floating. It's still above the ground, but the horizon in the background is just over the top of it. You see the legs moving right there. Like, so like right here, it's walking.
Thing they've had since that guy put a love letters in the past.
So what I think you're saying is that like it's like what Cece was saying is that like it appears like it's like moving its bottom half, like we're gonna frame by frame it if that'll help. So like there it's pretty sideways, and then you kind of see more of a bigger view, sideways, sideways, sideways.
This will be the best.
I can see how like it might appear like it's walking, but I think it's still in the sky. I'm pretty positive it's still in the sky. It's not on the ground.
Love letters in the past down there.
And the appearance, like if it was like a balloon in the shape of like a weird person or thing like that, if it was like shifting in the wind, I feel like it could very easily give that impression that it is like walking. But I am like 99% sure whatever it is still in the sky here. It's not on the ground. There's a point where it looks like it lands. All right, I'm going to try to find this point.
Thing they've had
Right here. Amy, is it on the ground or is it floating?
It's literally a UFO because it's unidentified.
Still in the sky. Still in the sky. Still in the sky.
This will be the best thing we've had since.
Yeah, so okay, so right there. There's like things down below. You see that? There's things down below that to me are still on the ground.
This will be the best thing we've had.
Yeah, like right here, the ground is still below it.
Since that guy put a love letters in the past down there.
I don't know. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced on that one, Amy. I think whatever that was is probably like a weird shaped balloon. I don't see that it lands or walks. Yeah. What's the other thing in the sky going left to right? Whoa! Look at that. I'm going to try to move out of the way here. If you're on the Discord, oh my gosh, we got an active debunk. Is that what it is? Hold on, sorry. Let me move out of the way so you guys can see that. Look at that. I think you got it, Cece. That's what it looks like to me. I think wow. I think that's what it is. I really think that's what it is. It's SpongeBob in the Gooby Goober movie. I think CC, you got that one right on. That's why I'm doing this channel. I love this. I love this. Yeah, the legs would like kind of like flay, like go back and forth. It'd be more. That's really cool. That was a really cool active debunk right there. Nice. Oh man. I don't know. Sorry, Amy. I don't see it walking. Like I see maybe the legs are going back and forth, but I think Cece's right on. I think the wind could be moving those legs back and forth. And that shape is too similar. That's amazing. Okay. So we did a reaction. Where are we at? Cece has another story here. We're at 8:43. I think we are going till 9 o'clock at this point. All right, so back up there. Okay. Guys, so call me out if my math is wrong on this. And I can agree with that. Amy says, it looks a lot like legs walking, but going back and forth in the air. I can accept that. Yeah, so at first I wasn't sure what you were pointing out, but when you actually pointed it out, it does look like it's shifting kind of like back and forth, like how a person might walk, like a robotic person. But yeah, I'm pretty positive Cece got that one right on. So between everybody's super stickers and the Patreon, we are going till 9 o'clock. So every 9:05, Rob Nance comes in with the $5 and says, no, we're going to 9:05. You know, if everybody just threw in a keep it up sticker or like a quick $5 or a quick $1 or whatever you could spare, we could go for a little while longer. And keep in mind, if you guys want to hit up Patreon, this is the Patreon has continuing benefits. You will get access to, you'll get your name in the credits of my Moonlit Tales. You will get, at a certain tier, you'll get your name guaranteed to be shouted out in a video. And you'll get access to the Share a Story thread on any tier in Patreon. Links in the description. So we're going to 9:05. Keep updating me in the comments. Yeah, that's great, Amy. Thank you for the update. 9:05 is where we're going. So that was a reaction. We're gonna do Cece's story here. She says, I hope this makes sense. I hope this story makes sense. I have another story involving my mom. On Tuesday night, I was sitting at home playing games, and I heard sirens, which were really loud. I've heard them before from the main road, which is a few streets away, but this was as if it was flying over my house. And I thought it was strange to hear sirens because it was 12:36 midnight. I wrote down the time in my notes to self because I wanted to find out if something had happened nearby because it was just odd. So on Wednesday night, my mom was finishing her shift at work and called me while she was driving home. As she was driving on the road near this place, which is an abandoned hospital and mental institution, whoa, she saw an ambulance. She couldn't see it clearly, but she saw the flashing lights and the old type sliding window near the top of the ambulance. She thought about slowing down to let the ambulance out of the junction, but decided it was far enough away that she would pass in front of it, as the current hospital is in the opposite direction from where she was going. She looked in the rear view to make sure that it did go the opposite way from her, and nothing was there. No blue lights and no red rear lights. I said to my mom that was weird, but I heard sirens the night before at 12:36 at night, and I thought it was strange to hear them so close and so late. She said that was the exact same time I saw the ambulance because she finished her work a few minutes late. When she reached the same place as I was chatting to her on the phone, hands-free, she said she felt a little spooked by that and slowed down, only to see this is a type of ambulance that I think... Oh, sorry. Only to see that a fox ran right out in front of her car. If she hadn't slowed down, she said she would have hit it, probably causing an accident. This is a type of ambulance that I think my mom saw. It's from the 70s. That is really weird. I don't know. There's an urban legend around where I live, up Provo Canyon. We have big mountains right up. Every day I look out and there's just this big mountain range. And up one of the canyons, there is a story, and I've wanted to test this story. Maybe I'll do this for like a Patreon special or something like that. Maybe I'll make it a Moonlit Tale. Who knows? But there's a story that there's an old cemetery up there. It's abandoned. It's overgrown. It's just up in the mountains. And if you drive up around that cemetery, and there's like this loop road that you drive up around, and the legend says, I've never known anybody to do this. I haven't done it. but this is what supposedly happens, if my memory serves. It's something along these lines, that if you drive up around midnight or late at night and the conditions are right, and you drive around this loop around this cemetery like 3 or 4 times in the middle of the night, then supposedly an old kind of like hearse, not an ambulance, but like a hearse, will just kind of appear out of the darkness, and it will like appear behind you, and it will like rev its engine and get really close to you, as if it was trying to drive you away from the cemetery. It's like trying to get you away or out of that area. So, you know, these stories don't just come out of nowhere. Somebody thought of it at some point, and then it got disseminated into the ethosphere or whatever. Maybe it happened to somebody. I don't know the origins of that story, but that's what's said to happen, and it's very similar to what you're talking about with this ambulance just appearing, which is really strange. I don't know. Cece says, it's also very close to the place with the UFO story of Bob Taylor. Okay. Guys, we got 16 concurrent viewers right now. I haven't even been looking at that. All right. I think we're going to do another reaction. Anybody have any links? Anything? Drop it, get on the Discord, and drop it in the reaction suggestions. See if there's videos elsewhere. So Matt dropped something in general a few days ago. Oh, I think he was just saying, the bit I'm talking about is at 14:05. Even the Brighton footage shows it's just a branch on a tree. Okay. I laughed so hard at this one when I originally saw it, and I'm laughing. Okay. Yeah, so there's nothing like... he's just saying that it was basically debunked on nukes already. If we don't have anything in the reaction suggestions spot, or share a story or any other stories, then I'm gonna... Maybe I'll keep watching this bizarre Bob video that Rob suggested. Let's take a look here. All right, yeah, let's just let's get into what's next on Bizarre Bub.
Their ring, as told the mother, and was trying not night. May just be the most
all right, number 4 on Bizarre Bub.
Live feed videos may just be the most convincing type of paranormal footage, as no editing can be done on something that is happening in real time. It also makes the video a whole lot creepier, as the following clip shows. Agustina de Villa is chatting with strangers online through a live video when the following is captured. Be sure to look closely at the background for this one, or you'll miss it.
I just want to be clear about what I'm looking at. Is that an open doorway that's leading into another room? No, that's a mirror. That's a mirror. Sorry. Yeah, I just noticed that is a mirror, and it's a reflection of her bed. So whatever that dark entity thing is, that's like right next to her. Am I seeing that right? Am I seeing that right?
The mirror behind Agustina shows that someone or something is standing on her bed. But if we look at the bed itself, we can see that nothing is there except what appears to be a black bag. Viewers don't know what to make of this, and neither does Agustina. Here's a video she made in response to this chilling footage.
Vamos a descubrir esto. Ven, esto acá era una campera y otras cosas más, y está sentado. Pero ahí está parado, miren eso. Ay, no. No hay nada, bueno, es que no hay chance. ¿Qué
Hay alguien parado ahí.
Sentado, quizás, no sé.
The only explanation I can think of is that this might have been a glitch with the live feed. But given what is seen in the video, it may be something else. Could this be footage of something paranormal? Or had something else been captured? Rewatch the clip and decide for yourself. We can see that nothing is there except what appears to be a black bag.
I'm trying to just get like spatial recognition of like how this is actually reflecting. My initial impression of this is it does look very weird. Making it look like a ghost on the bed. Maybe it's behind her head out of view. My initial thought is that it does look odd. But I'm definitely thinking that a more reasonable explanation in terms of like when you get like mirrors and cameras, filming mirrors, especially if it's at an odd angle, can do really weird things, like really strange things that it just messes with your brain, but it totally fits normal things. It's not a ghost or anything like that. I actually have. So I was at the Nat. I was in Amarillo, Texas recently. And I was at the Nat, which is this really cool, it's a really cool building down there. And I'm posting a video about it Monday. And when we were there, I had my phone out for a lot of the time I was in there, and I was just filming. I was just recording everything. And there's a lot of mirrors in this building. It's just this old antique national historic building with a lot of antiques in it. And I was just, earlier today, I was just reviewing, I didn't watch all of it, but I was just reviewing some of the footage. And there are some moments in there that was really tripping me out because I was like really close to a mirror and I was filming the mirror and I was like panning across so you could see me holding the phone, and then it panned across and there was a chair, the leg of a chair obscuring a part of the mirror, but on the opposite side of the leg of the chair, it was a different universe. It was like a parallel universe. And I was like, what the heck? Because it just didn't fit. It was still a mirror, but the thing was, it was actually a different mirror. And there was somebody who walked by and it just did not look right. It looked so weird. And I watched it for like a half an hour to try to like make sense of what I was seeing. But I think ultimately it really was just an illusion of how I was pointing the camera at different mirrors, and it was bizarre. Maybe I'll show that footage. But I'm trying to figure out how this applies to this. So in that mirror, you see the white object. You see the white object right here, and I think that object is the same object as this object right here. Is that correct? I really think that that is accurate. Cut and paste video. The background on the wall is not the same in the mirror, and the background blue wall in the room. So that would be not impossible, but it would be very difficult to do. It would be worthwhile to actually find out who this person is and watch some of her other videos to see if she does weird things like this. But this is on Omegle. I've never used the site, but I think it's called Omegle Bars, Omegle, something like that. But those things are generally live, and they are interacting, just like how I'm interacting with you guys right now. And so it would be difficult to like edit this in post-production. Not impossible, but there's things you could do. But if this truly was live, I believe that this white thing is the same object as this white thing right here, which would seem like this black object right here would have to be this black object here. But that object does not appear to be above the bed, like standing upright. Halfway up the black mass. It's a color variation.
Ag.
Edge of the bed, very edge. It's behind her head like a pillow or something, and in dead center of the bed between the pillows is a black bag we see. That might actually be right. So there's a couple good points out here, but I want to just check this, what Alina has to say, that there is maybe a separate object that's right behind her head.
Viewers don't know what to make of this, and neither does Agustina. Here's a video she made in response to this and not accept what appears to be a black bag. Viewers don't know what to make of this, and
these are black, making it look like a ghost on the bed. If you look closer at the mirror, there's a small table next to her bed. I think there might have been something on the table that made the image appear taller.
neither accept what appears to be a black bag. Viewers don't know what to make of this, and neither does Agustina. Here's a video.
So, and another good point is that, wow, we got a lot of comments on this one. There is a color variation. It could just be, so Alina says Omegle is literally 1 to 4 people trying to prank you or do movie character voices or things like jokes. White, see the white frame on the blue wall, and in the mirror, it's a brown like tack board on the blue wall.
Video she made. Viewers don't know what. See that nothing is there.
Yeah, there's like a tack board. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, a lot of you have a lot of great points. And
Except what appears to be a black bag.
So Amy's saying you would think that you would be able to see the tack board, right? In the mirror, or not in the mirror. That would be funny. That would be really weird if that's not even really a mirror. And kind of like what Alina was saying is that this whole site is, you're trying to prank people or whatever. If she just did some elaborate thing where she just pretended there was a mirror there, but it's actually just like a large blown up poster of like some weird thing. Given all of those facts, that Omegle, I've never used the site. I don't really know what types of people are on there or whatever, but there's a slight color variation. Yeah, between what everybody's saying, there's just seems enough off about this. I'm not really. I would put this at like a 4 because I really don't care enough to like deep dive this. So I'm just gonna let this be. I'm just gonna let this be what it is.
We can see.
All right. Like CC mentioned, there's a slight color variation. Paste video. The background of the wall is not the same in the mirror. The background blue wall in the room can't be the same white object because the mirror shows the outer edge of the bed. Yeah, that is weird. That is weird. There's something goofy going on there, and I don't. Yeah, I'm gonna look more into like Omegle, what people actually do on that site. But yeah, it's not making my list. Let's check and see if we have. It is 9:05. Amy Winterfeld 3, 2. Yeah, I agree. I agree with like a 3 or a 2. And I think Amy is referencing the Moonlit Ghost rating system. You gave it your best shot, and lol, really. Yeah, I don't know that it's an impressive fake, but I think you gave it your best shot is a good for that one. Oh, we got CC coming in with the detective work again. Oh my gosh. Yes, totally agree with you on that. It's 2 separate objects and it makes it look like an illusion. Yeah, I think you're right. Guitar case. Fotez. It's like the vid where they say there's a demon on top of the person in a hospital bed, but if you brighten the vid, you can see that multiple objects made it look like there's a demon, but it's just the Orient's legs and the bed frame and shadows from the ceiling light. But CC is spot on. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, the orientation isn't exactly right for that same white object to be what we see in the mirror. And I think there has to be a second object. So, yeah, that's... Maybe it wasn't an intentional trying to fake anything or deceive anybody. But yeah, I'm giving that a 100 and a thumbs up. So it's 9:06. Does anybody have a story? I can do one more story, and I think I'm gonna call it a night, unless we get another story real quick, or unless somebody jumps on Patreon, upgrades, or a super chat sticker. I really appreciate it. Alina, yes. Yes. The Are you talking about the my experiences validated by your video evidence? Need the last video turn off. Hold on. Amy, where did you send me your video through Facebook Messenger of the moving paper? So I got a couple things. I got Alina's email, and then also Amy sent me her video of the moving paper, like the longer video. But I'm trying to find where Amy sent that to me. So, if Amy, if you could tell me, like, I don't think you emailed it to me. I think it was through Facebook, right? It's in your photos on your phone in a shared album. Yes. So yeah, it's on my photos. So what were you suggesting? You suggesting that I let's see. Let me see if I can find that really quick. It's in my photos on my phone. There's an email. Okay. Okay, right now we're gonna do, since I have Alina's pulled up right now, we're gonna do that. I'll read that one quick. Okay. All right. So this is from, so I'm going to read this one, and I'm going to, after this, I'm going to try to find Amy's moving paper video. The weird one that the paper was moving, but it was like an important paper that was trying to catch her attention. And then after that, I think I'm going to call it a night, unless we have some more things going on. All right, so this is from Alina. This is Alina from YouTube. That's for a personal story. This is a story about Bigfoot. A story of Bigfoot related things on my property. I did them. If not, I can send it to you an email reply. One day I might try to do more investigation. Sorry, Alina. I'm just trying to make sure I'm reading the right thing here. Okay. My name is Alina Sanchez, and I am 21. Would you, do you want me to show the photos that you sent? I don't want to put like my email on the screen here, but I may do that in a second. Okay. 21 years old and currently live in York Haven, Pennsylvania on a 50-acre property with a 5-acre pond, builders the size of trucks everywhere, and undeveloped land. I moved here in 2018 with my boyfriend and never had lived in a full-on mountain forest with a dirt road before. Anyways, I had encounters with the invisible Bigfoot the summer of 2018, and it disturbed me to my core, mostly because it happened right on my front lawn while we sat on our porch, and the Bigfoot, fully cloaked, walked diagonal across my front yard, coming from the wooded side and our pond, and went towards the back side of my house. So, really quick, I don't want to interrupt I don't want to interrupt Alina's story here too much, but for those of you who don't know, there is a very real theory out there why Bigfoot is so elusive and so hard to see, is that they can cloak themselves. I am not one to say one way or another whether that is legitimate or not, but there are a lot of people who experience weird things like that, like cloaked animals, like watching them. So it's a thing. And I don't know about Bigfoot, but from my point of view, it does seem like, from an evolutionary point of view, like, you know, like the Predator, the movie The Predator, that there very well could be transparent animals So that's just a thing there. I'll get back to the story. This thing had to have been 10 feet from me when I saw it. And I was like, what the neck is that? What the heck is that? And pointed right at it. And my boyfriend was smoking his cigarette and was looking past the Bigfoot thing and didn't see it at all. The Bigfoot was running with like a super small stride and was very upright. To me, it looked like a man made of the clearest water, like a mirage. Yeah. Oh. I didn't see him enter the yard, but I am assuming he had to have come from the top left corner of my yard and cut across to the right side of my house and continued behind my house to the woods. Now, I did not chase it and went inside a minute after trying to tell my boyfriend what he could have seen if he looked at where I was pointing. After this, the Bigfoot thing was 100% stalking me, and I had nothing but gut-wrenching fear with chills every time I walked by a window in my house. Things got so bad, I covered all the windows, and the front door has a pothole type window, and I cut computer paper and taped it up. I was scared to be in my own home because I could feel the Bigfoot's presence through the wall. Like I could tell somehow he was leaning on the wall or peeping in the windows. That's absolutely terrifying. I live in a single wide trailer with paper thin walls and windows in every room. I felt like nowhere in my house was safe to hide because the window would be near. The stalking went on for weeks at a time, and it wasn't every single window or every single time I walked by, but at least a few hours every night. The Bigfoot preferred my front and back door window and the front kitchen window, and not the back kitchen window, despite the back kitchen window always being uncovered because I have a pet bird whose cage is in front of the back kitchen window. I still experience the feeling that the Bigfoot are watching a handful of times when I am on my evening walk and only at sunset, and I get my butt back in the house at dark. Sometimes I really wish I never saw that initial Bigfoot because I am the only one who saw it, and they only stalk me, not even my boyfriend or our neighbors. Now I feel like I'm living on their property, and I'm careful to respect them. I started growing a small garden and planted some trees, hoping to convince the Bigfoot that I'm being nice to the land, and stopped shooting my guns and fireworks for fun because I think that they probably don't like that I was doing it daily in 2018. Eventually, in December 2019, we had bought night vision security cameras because of breaking in my area and all activity and a scary feeling of being watched. And the scary feeling of being watched stopped. With the exception of finding 5 dead, bloody baby bunnies left in a pile on my back porch outside my back door in the spring of 2021. This was strange because the eagles and hawks and coyotes would have just eaten those bunnies, or some animal would have snatched the kills up for food. But they were intact with blood on them, but not like tore up or anything. Now, I found your channel in early 2021 and saw your video on how to keep away Bigfoot, and you said that security cameras keep them away, and I realized that's what I did without even knowing and solved my problem accidentally. I also had a religious figure in my life rebuke all evil entities possible on my land, and she had explained to me that she believes my land is possessed by a territorial spirit and will not easily leave, and I interpret that as the Bigfoot claimed my land long before I was even born. This is an amazing, scary story, so thank you for sharing it. But Alina goes on, another time recently, I think in August 2021, I went to a local ice cream place in the country and driving home. I was a passenger. I saw a huge blurry sphere perfectly in the middle of a green crop field. And the sight was beautiful. The sky was blue, and the field was perfect rows of some kind of crop and forests surrounding 3 sides of the field. Right in the middle of the field, hovering above the ground, was a circle as tall and wide as the front of a bus or larger. It was exactly like the portal you saw on the trail video, on the trail video, but larger. And it looks like someone took a huge magnified glass and placed it in the field. As we drove by, it appeared to be 2-dimensional, like a flat circle and not a big sphere. To conclude this email, I wanted to say that your videos validated what I saw because my boyfriend did not believe me when I saw these things, so I stopped trying to say anything and had me terrified for months. Your video showed exactly what I saw, not even just similar, but exactly. Thank you for posting information so people like me know about these creatures and can cope with the terror associated with seeing them and then people you trust not believing you. I also am thankful that you have biblical explanations and talk about rebuking the Bigfoot because it does work and can help people like me who believe in the Word of God but didn't previously believe in things like Nephilim, which aren't talked about in church. And my church is pretty divided in just the topic of ghosts. Some people can't handle the idea of interdimensional beings. I got curious and inspired and tried to take some pictures like you do and took hundreds of photos around my yard, and only 3 showed something. Here's the actual pictures. So then she goes on, she's got a couple linked pictures here. There was taken May. You can share these pictures and analyze them and share the location of your cave in Pennsylvania, but please do not share my... Yeah, okay. Thank you for sharing that story. That I have never had a personal experience with like a cloaked animal or a cloaked Bigfoot, but I do know that there are a lot of accounts of people experiencing something very similar to what you described, and it's bizarre. It's very strange. Let's take a look at just email notice to you. Show them it's more like an experience. Alina wants, I think Alina is saying to share the photos. Let me download them. Let's take a look at some of the comments here. Wow, this is very clearly a very powerful like emotion for you. A year ago, I would be crying thinking about this. Cloaked or like iguanas and blend with their background because that's proven. Yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong, Alina, but I think it's really more like the movie Predator, where you see just this, it's like light is bending around this creature or this animal. So we do know we have technology that we can implement to actually bend the light around objects, and it gives this like blurry, like weird thing, just like the movie Predator. Like you're looking at it and it's just this weird, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just, I don't know. It's cloaked, like, but you can see like an outline of it. The octopus is an incredible example of an animal cloaking itself. Yeah, so I do just want to like differentiate between those two different types of things. There are animals just like the octopus and like certain types of like lizards, I think, that the pixels of their skin, like the cells of their body can take on the color of their surroundings, and it looks like they just blend exactly in with their surroundings. But these cloaked animals, it's literally like the light is bending around them. It's really bizarre. Amy says Arctic fox, mimic octopus, noodle branch, ocean slugs, chameleons, gobble tortoise, crab spiders, all camouflage. Part of me feels like the Bigfoot was trying to court her. That's a weird thing, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on in Bigfoot's head. Like a cat bringing a dead mouse a gift. You see, it's literally mind bending. We have no cats out here. Very spooky. Yeah, so that I think that's a good example. So like she says, no, like a man of glass or pure water or air with shiny outline, sort of. That's the best way to describe it as I can. I've never seen that personally, but I've seen people try to explain it, and that's kind of what it is like. The baby rabbits were definitely a gift, and that is another thing that is just... That's, yeah, I don't know. Physical, unlike a ghost, is transparent. It's different. I was thinking like a more advanced form of what an octopus does. It could be. It could be. What color are polar bears? I mean, I think polar bears are white. Pretty sure. Most of their body. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that story. Amy, I am having a hard time finding this email that you sent me. I know that a part of the video, not the video in its entirety, but I'm pretty sure a part of it was shared on the Discord at some point. Maybe in the ghost chat. Maybe not. Oh, yeah. Yeah, let me pull up the pictures here. So in general, actually, I'm going to put this in. I'm going to throw this in cryptid chat here. Let's see if I can do this right. Put a file. Now you guys are looking at all of my files. I don't know if that's not... Probably don't want you guys looking at that. Yeah. Let me do this a different way. I'm gonna cut to this scene really quick while I upload those photos. Thank you guys for hanging out while I am trying to streamline all of this process. This is a great thing. Where did I actually download them to? Oh, okay. Sorry. Sorry. Just give me a moment to compose myself. So these are the images. Okay. So these are the images in the Discord that Alina shared. Sorry, 1 second. So she's highlighted something here. It looks like there's that image there with the eyes. Oh, there is it not highlighted. Huh. So it looks like, is this thing crouched over? Like, is it like kneeling down? If this is its head right here, it seems like it would be a pretty large creature, right? Better start wearing clothes around the house. Pretty much all the apes have a high degree of intelligence. I think I'm looking at a shrub, like a demon thing. I don't think the pic is of Bigfoot. Yeah. Wait. Polar bears have clear fur? They have translucent fur? Filling up. I detailed that in the email. Combination of polar bears and these other animals makes this theory on Bigfoot not so far out of the realm of what other animals already do. That's a very interesting point. I had no idea about that with the... I'm gonna have to like look into that. I had no idea polar bears' hair. Yes, polar bears are not white. I guess they're translucent. That's crazy. I've never heard that in my life. Huh. Okay. If you guys, let's see. This is what I'm going to do. I am going to pull up. I'm going to play my original video. This channel is... And I'm going to play this for you guys while I am trying to find Amy's paper video here. This is... So the reason I want to actually play this is because I think, if memory serves, I say in this video that this channel... have a greater purpose in mind than just to talk about the paranormal and weird things. And that greater purpose is, so there's like 3 levels. Like the surface level is what we're doing right now, like debunking videos, sharing true personal stories, trying to come together as a community of like-minded individuals, of both skeptics and believers alike. I want to build that community to really share, like the surface level is the paranormal, is ghosts, is Bigfoot. But like a more deeper meaning of why I wanted to start this channel, it's this right here. It's talking with you guys. It's sharing the emotional connection of sharing stories and telling stories in interesting, amazing ways. And one of the deeper things about this channel is it's not about ghosts, it's not about Bigfoot, it's not about aliens. It's really about understanding the nature of this world that we live in. And it's just that those things are very pertinent to, well, if they're real, then they're very significant into what this world even means, into what this world that we all live in even means. So I'm just gonna let this is the very first video that I ever put on this channel. I'm gonna let that play. I'm gonna try to find morning, Matt. What's up, man? Still going, I see. Matt, thank you for joining us. We've had some great debunks. We've had some great stories, and I shared your story that you put on Discord, and you almost made me cry, man. Like I really appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that story. But this is the very first video that I ever put on here. Some of you may have seen it, some of you maybe not have seen it, but I'm gonna let it play and I'm gonna try to find Amy's thing. And if I can find Amy's video, then I'll put that up. And then after that, I'm gonna call it a night. I'm gonna call it a night unless you guys wanna add some minutes and give me some more super stickers or update, follow me on Patreon or whatnot. Oh yeah, is this with sound? No, for some reason, hold on. Are you guys hearing sound? I'm not hearing sound. Okay, there we go. Have you ever looked into the night sky, lit by a full, radiant, glowing moon, and thought, is the X-Files really based on true events? Welcome to the Moonlit Ghost, my channel dedicated to the research and understanding of some of the most profound mysteries this strange and beautiful world has to offer. My name is Jacob Winterfeld, and as long as I can remember, I've been fascinated with the strange and unusual. This fascination was stoked in my youth by an old plantation house I grew up in, situated in an obscure country town in the deep south. Clio, South Carolina was my childhood home, one that holds a special place in my heart to this day. That special place in my heart aside, no doubt that place was legit freaky. Some scary stuff happened there, and as much as I loved that place as a kid, looking back, I'm grateful that my parents eventually packed up and moved to Utah, where I was introduced to a whole new genre of weird things. The X-Files. I remember watching Mulder and Scully investigate everything from aliens to ghosts to monsters to just about anything you can imagine. And I just loved it. I embraced the creative terror that surged from every episode. It exhilarated my imagination and made me want to tell stories in a similar vein. Then I found out that the pilot episode, aptly titled Pilot, where the agents investigate a string of deaths that Mulder suspects to be the handiwork of aliens, along with other episodes distributed throughout the series, were inspired by true events. And it just blew me away that this type of crazy stuff could have a basis in reality. Throughout the years, I've had many strange experiences, and I've done my best to explain those experiences in terms that make rational and logical sense. And to be sure, there are rational explanations for many, if not most, claims of the paranormal. From insects crawling on camera lenses to pareidolia, to the haunting effects of sleep paralysis. Many otherworldly experiences can truly be explained without a need to invoke the paranormal. And the truth is, we tend to think things are more strange than they really are. Occam's razor says that given 2 or more explanations for an occurrence, the simplest answer is usually the correct one. That creaking sound in that old house you just moved into, you think that's old one-eyed Jimmy rooting around trying to find his eye and terrorizing anyone who sits in his chair? Or you think it might just be an old house, and it's just more susceptible to moving and shifting in ways that newer houses probably wouldn't? I think Occam's razor is probably a pretty good principle to live by most of the time, but I wouldn't die by it. To think that the correct answer is always the simplest solution is to greatly underestimate the nature of this prodigious, just wanted to use that word, world that we live in. In more recent years, I have seen things that I have wrestled with in my depths, and attempting to find logical solutions for these experiences has required me to do more mental gymnastics than to just admit the truth that I had a real paranormal experience. Experiences that, in my opinion, truly do transcend in epic inexplicability the veil of obvious empiricism. I want to be clear, it's not just my intention to be a ghost hunter. No, my intention is to approach these inexplicable things with a keen eye, to investigate and to dive into this bizarre world armed with a healthy dose of skepticism and wonder. It's my intention to start systematically researching, scrutinizing, and classifying these claims until we can start teasing out the truth from a sea of total fiction, and perhaps in the process build a body of evidence distinguished from the overwhelming flood of hoaxes and misleading information out there. So what is the idea exactly? Well, let's watch a video and break it down. Got a couple dudes just getting into the elevator. That's interesting. It's an electrical problem a little bit. Pointing something out. I wonder if he sees something. Okay, they're getting off. Look at that. That's a granny ghost in the elevator. I don't think she's gonna be able to get off in time. Oh my. Okay, so on a scale from 0 to 10, where would you place this video? Is this the most incredible piece of evidence to prove paranormal entities exist, or is it just a bunch of bunk? When critiquing videos like this, we should really be utilizing a series of tools to figure this type of stuff out. And wouldn't you know it, some of these tools are useful for figuring other things out. You know, like the news, or other things. For sure, what I'm about to go through don't just apply to figuring out whether old Jimmy's rooting around somewhere. These things can be used to live a productive, well-informed, and healthy life. First and foremost, we need to find the source of this video. Where did it come from? It turns out that in our attempt to find the validity of this paranormal video, we've solved it at step 1. This video was created by a company called McGann World Group for advertising purposes. More info in the description if you're interested in why they made it. So this video was a complete hoax, and just by finding out what the source was, it became apparent what was true. But is every piece of evidence so easy to dismiss? Well, no. And that's where the Moonlit ghost comes in. Other than looking for the sources, we should be looking for the quality of the evidence. If you've got a brown splotch on a video and you say it's Bigfoot, well, I mean, you might have actually caught Bigfoot, but unfortunately, it's not going to be very admissible because you just don't have a lot there. And then we should be looking at acting and the body language of any participants in the video. Are the people telling the truth, and are there any obvious cues in the way that they are presenting themselves that would suggest otherwise? And then, was the video edited or manipulated in any way? This doesn't necessarily mean it's fraudulent, but it's probably worth looking into why they edited it and what the purposes behind it was. And then finally, misidentification. It could be a legitimate video and the people even behind the video could genuinely think that they're seeing something crazy or paranormal, but in reality it's just not actually what they think it is. Two examples come to mind. Just the wake of a boat on the water can create the illusion of a long serpentine creature or anything like that. Like a lot of Loch Ness sightings or lake monsters, this kind of happens with sometimes. And the second thing are urban exploration videos where people are exploring abandoned places. Oftentimes people might be scared and think they're catching some paranormal activity, when in reality they're running into homeless people, which is kind of sad, but it's also a little bit more scary than running into ghosts in my opinion, because you don't know what could happen. Well, you don't really know what could happen with ghosts either, but that's a different story. How could I say that's a different story? That's what this video is. I don't know, this is called the Moonlit Ghost. Moving on. I'm doing this for myself because I love this type of stuff, but more primarily, I think it needs to be done. There are people out there doing similar things, but I intend to step this game up a little bit. And it's only a matter of time before we are really forced to recognize that a lot of these crazy fringe ideas that have long been stigmatized have more basis in reality than not. Look at the UFO phenomenon, for example. There's just so much evidence out there that even world governments are now opening up and engaging with the public about the reality of them. Yeah, more primarily. We, in all honesty, can no longer make fun of our tinfoil hat wearing friends. Well, we can still make fun of them, but just let them know that you got their back and that you love them. Speaking of love, why don't you show me a little bit and smash that like button, go ahead and subscribe, and comment below if you've ever seen a ghost. And if you're a skeptic, let me know why. Feel free to share this video with anyone who might appreciate it. And if you're really feeling supportive, please check out my Patreon, where you can support me further and learn how you can be a part of the channel. Links in the description. And finally, if you know of any scary stories, haunted houses, mysterious places, or for any other reason, please feel free to contact me at themoonlitghost@gmail.com. I also want to add before I go that this isn't just me spouting off on some paranormal pipe dream. This channel is just one step in a larger goal of mine. A goal which at its heart lies the simple desire to learn, to be educated, and to explore the world in all the ways.
Night, Emily. Thanks for showing up.
Have you ever looked up into the night sky, lit by a full moon, and thought, why am I here? Or what else is out there? I often wonder if these eternal questions, these all too human ailments of the heart, don't also, at least in some degree, afflict those pesky aliens, or that elusive Bigfoot, or the spirits of those who've passed, those moonlit ghosts, and in some unknown way, connect us all through this vast and mysterious cosmos. Look
A group of mothers in Scottsdale, Arizona, demanding school board.
All right, guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I am having issues trying to get Amy's video. I'm not seeing it. Okay. Oh, I think I'm gonna call it a good live stream. We've had so much, we've done so much, we've shared a bunch of cool stories, we reacted to a lot of things, and we even came through, several of you came through with some live actual debunks, like during the live stream, which was amazing. And this was just so much fun. These live streams are just gonna get better, more streamlined, they're gonna get super cool, super fun. Everything about this channel is getting more streamlined, and you guys are amazing. But if you continue to like work with me and bear with me through all of like these technical hiccups and all of these things like that, this is going to be an amazing community. It already is an amazing community, and I'm so excited that you guys are here with me, laying the foundation for what I think is going to be one of the best channels, not just paranormal channels, but one of the best channels on YouTube. Yeah, I thank you everybody for sharing all of your stories, and I think I'm gonna call it a night. I'm a little sad to go, but I think I'm gonna call it. I need to get to bed. I need to finish up the script for a great video Monday. Make sure to tune in. I think I'll probably post it around noon Mountain Standard Time on Monday. It's about the Nat. It's about a very interesting haunting with some personal video. So make sure to tune in Monday for that. And thanks, CC. Good stream. Next time. I left a story in the chat. Kite Supreme. Okay. I shared your story, Kite. CC actually dropped it on the Discord, and I shared your story. It's earlier in the chat, and I really appreciate it. Thank you guys. I am going to do this. There's going to be a guaranteed live stream. It's very similar to this, just a lot smoother every single Friday. And I'm going to try to work with people's time frames to when like most of you can be on or whatever. I may be doing more live streams during the week, but I'm feeling that out right now. Guys, my heart goes out to all of you guys. I appreciate you all. I love you guys. This is amazing. Thank you for joining me on this Moonlit Ghost live stream, and I will see you next time. And remember, let me get into the main thing. Remember, and look right into the camera. Stay paranormal.